Good evening all and welcome to the Council meeting. I am Councillor Preeti Hudd, the Mayor. May I welcome members of the public and request that apart from the 72-second silence, you remain seated for the Council proceedings unless you wish to leave the chamber. In June 2017, 72 of our residents tragically lost their lives in the fire at Grenfell Tower. I ask every member of the Council to pay our deepest and continuing respects in the conventional manner by marking the moment with 72-second silence now. Would everyone please stand? The first item of business this evening is the election of Mayor. Please, may I have any nominations? Councillor Machover.
I beg to nominate Councillor Lane.
Councillor Hargreaves.
I beg to second.
Are there any other nominations? I now invite the proposer, Councillor Machover, to speak in support of Councillor Lane.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So in today's other announcement, I have great pleasure in nominating my fellow ward councillor, Will Lane, for the position of Mayor of RBKC. But first, may I express our warm thanks from across this chamber to our current Mayor for representing our borough with such dedication, diplomacy and personality over the past civic year. I hope all members will agree with me that the Mayor's dedication has been outstanding, whatever the occasion. The challenges of the year have been handled with great diplomacy and tact, and Preeti has made the role her own, bringing her principles, personality and energy to every event and cause. Thank you, Madam Mayor. You set a high bar for your successor. Will, no pressure. Many members will have seen Councillor Lane in action as a clear-minded committee vice-chairman, a strong voice for residents on planning committees protecting our heritage, an incisive contributor in this chamber, and a well-qualified board member of the local Citizens Advice Bureau. He also gets stuck in, quite literally, with officers on the rubbish patrol in Queensgate finding evidence for issuing dumping fines. But let me tell you a little bit more about Will, the Queensgate ward resident. Like a number of members in this chamber, Will's family links trace back to near Kensington, but the other one, his mother was born in inner city Liverpool, and where his grandfather was a Vauxhall car factory worker. Will was born in Essex, first went to school in the Netherlands, was raised by a single mother, and was one of only 2 pupils to win a place at Cambridge from his local state school, which sounds like an excellent dream CV for any other party politician as well. Will credits regular viewing of BBC Newsnight at home as a schoolboy that led him to getting involved in politics and shocking his mother by joining the Lib Dems at the age of 12. but some years later, studying law at Cambridge, Will's interest in personal freedom, liberty and opportunity led him to join the Conservatives. And then moving to London for the first time for his Masters at UCL, Will looked for somewhere to live with a sense of place, and the style of Queensgate buildings led him to our ward. Will went on to work at the County Court, and on the legal team of the Infected Blood Inquiry. He volunteered to work for Felicity Buchan's 2019 campaign, and he was asked to join her parliamentary team where he managed communications and constituency cases, including working with her team on Afghan resettlement. Will also somehow found time to earn his Masters of Wine Level 2 qualification, which visitors to the parlour may have a keen interest in testing. I am also very pleased to welcome to the Chamber Will's mother, Jenny, and brother Patrick and his partner Sarah, and behind me the St John's College Wine Tasting Society, which will be with us maybe for the year. I know we will hear more in a moment about Councillor Lane's excellent choice of Deputy Mayor, Councillor Laura Burns, but for those of you interested in precedent and statistics, I think I'm right in saying that together they will be the tallest mayoral team in borough history. I hope members across this chamber will enjoy working with Councillor Lane as much as I have done. I can't think of a better candidate as our next civic leader, who with his broad interests and experience helping a wide range of residents will form lasting relationships, bringing closer together our communities across the borough. Thank you.
Thank you. I now invite the seconder, Councillor Hargreaves, to speak in support of Councillor Lane.
Madam Mayor, thank you very much indeed. And can I also add my congratulations to you and your Deputy Mayor on a wonderful year, and thank you for the service you've given to our borough. And it gives me great pleasure this evening to second this motion. And like yourself, I think it's especially good to see two people from the 2022 intake becoming Mayor and Deputy Mayor of our borough, and I think that's a great example going forward. Following from the excellent speech made by Councillor Mackover, I wish to say how delighted I am that if elected this evening, Councillor Lane intends to make my fellow ward councillor, Councillor Laura Byrne, his Deputy Mayor. Since being elected in 2022, Laura has been a great colleague to work with, representing the residents of Chelsea Riverside. And I am sure that she will bring the same sense of duty, energy and enthusiasm to the role of Deputy Mayor. Laura is a true Londoner. She was born and raised in London and is a graduate of Westminster University. She graduated with a degree in commercial music and has built a career as a model, actor, and I've got to get this one right, physiognomist. For those one or two members in the chamber who are not familiar with what a physiognomist is, it is the practice of assessing a person's character or personality from their appearance, especially their face. And this is a skill that Laura has put into great use in managing large public events, so beware. If any of you ever try to blag your way into one of the great West End late night clubs, you may in future encounter the Deputy Mayor on the reception practicing her art of physiognomy. Also, it is probably a great skill to have should you ever come to chair a meeting at the council meeting. So remember, fellow councillors, if Laura is in the chair, smile, look very innocent if you wish to be called to speak. So, Madam Mayor, it is, as you know only too well, it is a great honour to be elected Mayor and first citizen of this borough. And if elected, I wish both Will and Laura a fantastic year, and I know that they will serve the residents of Kensington and Chelsea with great dignity. Thank you very much.
We now turn to the vote. Would those in favour of electing Councillor Lane as Mayor please show? Thank you. The vote is in favour of Councillor Lane. I therefore declare that Councillor Lane has been duly elected as Mayor of the Royal Borough of Kensington and Chelsea for the ensuing municipal year. There will now be a pause while Councillor Mackover goes to the parlour to collect the Mayor-elect Councillor Lane.
Good evening, everyone. I, Will Lane, having been elected Mayor of the Royal Borough of Kensington and Chelsea, hereby declare that I take the said office upon myself and will duly and faithfully fulfil the duties thereof, according to the best of my judgment and ability. Please be seated. Councillors, thank you for the distinct honour of electing me as the Mayor of the Royal Borough of Kensington and Chelsea. Thank you all for placing your trust in me as the civic representative of our council. Thank you for bestowing on me the highest honour that you can bestow on any other councillor. But most importantly, thank you, Preeti Hud, for your distinguished service as my predecessor. Your kindness to all, your wonderful wit and love for our borough has shone so brightly over the past year. Your care for residents, the businesses and voluntary organisations that define our borough has been second to none, supported by your Deputy Mayor, Councillor Schmetterling. And your passion for fighting the injustice of people going hungry in our city through your tireless support of your mayoral charity, the Felix Project, has inspired everyone in this room. There is only one thing I don't thank you for, Councillor Hud, and that is leaving me with such big shoes to fill. Figuratively speaking, of course. On behalf of all residents and all councillors of this borough, I also want to express my happiness at the news that His Majesty the King has returned to public duties following treatment for cancer, as well as make an expression of the most sincere support for Her Royal Highness the Princess of Wales as she undergoes her own treatment for cancer. As Her Royal Highness said, for everyone facing this disease, in whatever form, please do not lose faith or hope. You are not alone. As Mayor, I say to anyone in our borough fighting cancer, you are not alone. 3 weeks ago, we had local elections. I want to thank all of those who voted for the Mayor of London, Assembly members, and in the Northern Wall by-election, especially young people who voted for the first time. The right to vote, to decide who governs us, is possibly the most hard-won right in the history of human civilization. It's a right which billions of people across the world still do not possess, so let's appreciate how lucky we are. I also want to thank those who stood for election, as well as everyone who worked hard to ensure that the elections took place openly and fairly. Now, our borough is fortunate to have world-class cultural venues, some of the finest examples of neoclassical and Gothic architecture, and quite possibly the smoothest, most pothole-free roads known to mankind. But I don't love the borough because of any of those things. I love this borough because of the people in it. The traders on Portobello Road, the teachers in our amazing schools, the man or woman taking a peaceful stroll through beautiful Holland Park. It doesn't matter where you originally came from, or what you look like, or what you do for a living. As long as you call this borough your home, it is your home. And to those who live and work in our borough, I promise to represent you all. Now, being as yet unmarried, there really is only one genuinely important woman in my life. And no, I'm not talking about the leader of the council. I am, of course, talking about my mother. Who raised me and my brother Patrick single-handedly. Call me biased, but I think she did a rather good job at that. At least with me, anyway. I can't comment on how my brother turned out. Mum, there's no honour I can bestow on you which can adequately compensate you for what you've done for me and my brother. However, I hope you will accept the honour of being appointed as the Mayoress of Kensington Chelsea. Now, Mum and I both enjoy a good verse from the Bible every now and then. My mother's favourite one comes from the book of Mark, verse 8:36. For what shall it profit a man if he gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Good advice, perhaps, for us politicians. We should always be guided by what is right. That's why I shall appoint a mayoral chaplain to remind us as we carry out our role serving the people of this borough of the importance of looking to others for guidance on what is right. I'm therefore delighted that Brian Elphick, Vicar of Christ Church, has kindly agreed to be my chaplain, and in a few moments' time I shall invest him with his badge. Christ Church is so often at the centre of my local community in Queensgate, hosting events, secular and religious, for all. So thank you, Brian, for agreeing to bring your love for our community to the whole borough. Before becoming vicar at Christ Church, however, Brian led a church in inner city Liverpool. And as many of you know, I grew up on Merseyside in a small town called Heswell. One of my earlier memories is going to the school, waiting for the bus, and seeing the sign on the village shop that said, "We don't sell the Sun." After I got home from school, I asked my mum why this was. And she told me about the 96 football fans who were killed, the attempts by the establishment to protect those responsible for their deaths, and the campaign by the families for justice. This year marks 7 years since the fire at Grenfell Tower, which killed 72 people. The friends and families of the 72 still don't have justice. Earlier this year, we also had Testimony Week, where bereaved families and survivors displayed incredible courage by speaking the truth about what happened. One of those truths is that this council is to blame for what happened. We are the Grenfell Council, and we will always be the Grenfell Council. We can never bring those families back together or their loved ones back to life. What we can do, and what we must do, is be a fundamentally different council to the one that existed before the 14th of June 2017. So on the 14th of June 2024, this year, 7 years on, I will be thinking about the 72, the bereaved, survivors, and all affected residents, and encouraging the council to accept the recommendations of the inquiry, respond openly, transparently, and full-heartedly. Our borough's local charities and voluntary sector were the heart of the response to Grenfell and remain so today. And the work that they do would be impossible without people who care deeply about others. It was incredibly important to me that my mayoral charity was one where that value was at work across the whole borough. Investing in improving the lives and opportunities of disadvantaged and vulnerable people locally here in Kensington and Chelsea. And that's why I'm delighted that the Kensington and Chelsea Foundation have agreed to be my mayoral charity. I'm looking forward to working with their team to focus on improving the life chances of those less fortunate in our borough, working on the issues that matter most, such as improving mental health and increasing education opportunities for all residents of our borough, and doing this alongside a brilliant Deputy Mayor, Councillor Laura Burns. I'm incredibly lucky. So finally, thank you all again for listening to me, for placing your trust in me. I promise to represent you all. Thank you. Councillor Laura Burns has agreed to accept the office of Deputy Mayor. I'm sure she would like to say a few words.
Thank you. Fellow councillors, residents and guests of the Royal Borough of Kensington and Chelsea, I'm honoured to be your new Deputy Mayor. Firstly, I would like to thank the new Mayor of RBKC, Will Lane, for entrusting me with the tremendous responsibility of having me as your deputy. We have gone from sitting in the back benches to front and centre. That's wild. I'm so happy to be able to support you this year and couldn't wish to work with anyone better. I'd like to take a moment to thank our previous mayor, thank you, and also our previous deputy mayor as well. So your contributions have laid the foundation for our continued success, and I'm honoured to follow in your footsteps, both of you. I can say that having observed the last three deputy mayors, Councillor Dory Schmetterling, Councillor Janet Evans, and also Councillor Sof McFay, wherever she is, over here, I have a lot to live up to. But I also know there will be there to guide me and support me when I need it, as I think I might. Thank you to the leadership team, the councillors and the officers. You are always a great support network for each of us and our community. You do so much in making RBKC a great place. This borough holds a special place in my heart, with its rich history, vibrant culture and diverse community. I'm committed to serving you with dedication, integrity and passion, whilst championing some great local causes. I can't wait to embark on this journey together, united in our commitment to make Kensington and Chelsea an even better place to live, work, thrive and love. What a great year this is going to be. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Mother, I would now like to invest you with your badge. The Reverend Brian Elphick from Christ Church in Kensington has kindly agreed to be my chaplain during my year as mayor, and I'm pleased now to invest him with his chaplain's badge. I now call upon Councillor North, who will move the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the Council, members of the public here today, and those I know are watching online. May I be the first of your colleagues to congratulate you on your election as Mayor, and I know that both you and Madam Deputy Mayor will have the full support from across the Chamber and from all of our residents. May I please move a motion and pay tribute and thank you to our outgoing mayoral team, who have both proved outstanding representatives of our borough, Councillor Pretty Hudd and Councillor Dorrie Schmetterling. Of course, there may be many highlights of the mayoral year. The amazing work, fundraising and goodwill generated for the Mayor's chosen charity, the Felix Project, which has done great work in our city. What an honour it has been to share your passion for this good cause. And may I also add that Felix, your godson, will be looking down on his godmother with pride and gratitude for what has been achieved in his name. So may I please thank all those who contributed and supported. There have been almost 500 events this civic year with diplomats, schools, museums, military establishments, memorials and resident groups. So much hospitality that embodies the soft power of this mayoralty that represents all of us in the Royal Borough of Kensington and Chelsea. But also there have been other smaller and more personal events that I believe show a very special mayoralty that represents this borough, and 3 people have asked me to say something tonight. Last month, one of our much-loved and valued Camden Ward residents turned 100 years of age. Last week, at our Camden Ward Senior Citizens Lunch Club, Betty Griffiths insisted that I say a few words of thanks to both the Mayor and Deputy Mayor. And forgive me if I get a bit emotional here. So to quote Betty, "I was honoured to get a birthday card from His Majesty the King and His Holiness the Pope for my 100th birthday. But I was very touched by the invitation to join the Mayor and the Deputy Mayor of my borough for afternoon tea in the Mayor's Parlour along with all my friends. Thank you." Last week, some of us were lucky enough to join the Mayor on HMS Puncher, a Thames-based Royal Navy vessel affiliated to the Royal Borough of Kensington and Chelsea. This quote is from her most junior crew member. "Thank you to both the Mayor and the Deputy Mayor. Often a ship's commanding officer is invited to formal events such as this at the Town Hall. Rarely are the whole crew, including the most junior ratings, invited on that guest list. I can't wait to tell my mum." And he polished his shoes especially for the occasion. Last year at our Remembrance Day, following a very successful poppy appeal here in Kensington and Chelsea, another former junior Merchant Navy navigation officer, Mr. Paul Oxley, a veteran of the Falklands conflict who served on QE2 and SS Atlantic Conveyor, narrowly escaping the Exocet missile that attacked and sunk his ship, Madam Mayor, you and your office generously asked me to lay a wreath on behalf of the Merchant Navy last November. I was humbled and honoured to represent the Merchant Navy Association, former and current service personnel, at such a respectful and heartwarming ceremony. This meant a lot to many of my colleagues that I served with, and especially for our friends who didn't return home with us. And finally, there is one more group of people to thank, who have not only supported our Mayor at the events and been an extra touch of warmth and personality. That is, of course, Councillor Hudd's family. Rewind to this time last year, and I know many of you will remember the Mayor introducing her consort to be her husband, David Hudd. Sorry, I couldn't resist. Not sure if the microphone quite picked it up, but I did hear it said, when David bowed his head to have the medallion placed over it, I heard Councillor Hudd say, "Bow lower, darling, lower." Thank you, David, for being so supportive and amazing in playing your part for our borough. To David and Pretty's children, Venetia and Oliver, and of course Mr. and Mrs. Pancholi, who can't be here this evening, we send our thanks to them as well. And so, as we reflect on such a happy civic year and look forward to the civic year ahead, may I just have one last message to Councillor Hudd, and this one is from her Camden Ward team, myself and Councillor Folkes. We thank you for your service, but we have lots of hard casework to do, leaflets to deliver, canvassing, surgeries, door knocking, and a general election in the coming months ahead. So welcome back, Councillor Hudd, to Camden. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor North. I now call on Councillor Aretti to second.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and dear members of the public and the Council. Firstly, may I congratulate you, Mr. Mayor, Madam Deputy Mayor, on your elections, and I wish you the very best in the coming year. I'm sure this young mayoral team would bring a new version of Royal Borough. What a great moment for you both to be part of this civic role that the culture and heritage of the borough, the people and the visitors embrace. Councillor North had already summed up about the past mayoral team, and I echo his speech and comments. May I thank you, my friends, Councillor Hudd and Councillor Schmetterling, on behalf of the Chamber and the residents, for your service, dedication throughout the year. The challenges of the year have been handled with great integrity and commitment. What a year we had so far with the mayoralty. Both of them who were born in different continents, not countries, continent I would say, became a citizen of the UK, a proud resident of the borough, and to be elected as councillors and a mayor and deputy mayor is truly remarkable and a testament of the borough spirit and reflects our motto, Quum bonum in unum habitare. What a good thing is to dwell together in unity. And I'm sorry if my Latin didn't sound Latin. I had little time to practice. I have to translate that in Hindi and Tamil to practice. Anyway, I'm sure lots of members share the same background, and hey, all are welcome to live here and work here and visit. May I thank Preeti's family, her better half, Mr. David Hudd, her children for supporting her tooth and nail, and all respect for her parents for upbringing Preeti with highest integrity and great ethics. Finally, my thanks goes to Councillor Schmetterling, Dory Boy we call him, for his service in supporting the Mayor and the Council when needed, stepping up when required, and his support for the Mayor's charity Felix Project, which made significant difference in the borough, and his support throughout the year was outstanding. Especially, I need to speak about the International Fashion Show, where you brought all the countries together on one platform in the borough is truly remarkable and outstanding. Thank you. I'm sure your both families, Dory, your family, Fariba, your wife, and your son would be very proud of your achievement. And you both families yourself would cherish this moment for your life, and I hope these are memories throughout your lifetime. Thank you very much.
Do any other members wish to speak? Councillor Lari.
Councillor Lane, congratulations on your election as Mayor. On behalf of the opposition Labour group of Kensington and Chelsea, I wish to heartily congratulate Councillors Hard and Schmetterling on finishing their municipal year and terms as Mayor and Deputy Mayor respectively. Councillors North and Oretti, I think, have put it very aptly, but I wanted to remind members the previous municipal year was an extremely challenging one and an emotional one. It was perhaps the first time, at least in my memory, that we became embroiled in foreign policy conflict so acutely. But, Madam Mayor, when you were put up to that challenge, you handled it extremely respectably and in the most dignified manner that I could imagine anyone could handle it. We are so lucky. We are so lucky to represent such diverse communities with views on both sides of the conflict and both sides of the aisle. But Madam Mayor and Mr. Deputy Mayor past, I thank you very much for your service.
Do any other members wish to speak? If not, then I declare the motion carried.
There will just be a short pause and we'll resume in a moment.
Thank you. Please be seated. I now have the pleasure of presenting Past Mayor's badge to Councillor Hudd. I now invite Councillor Hudd to speak for up to 5 minutes.
Surely it's 15 minutes. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Madam Deputy Mayor, councillors, officers, and residents. Many congratulations to my successor, Councillor Will Lane, and to his deputy, Councillor Laura Burns. I hope you both enjoy your year of office as much as I have. One thing's for sure, and you'll all agree, it'll be the most glamorous mayoral couple walking the streets of Kensington and Chelsea. I mean, yep. Now a few thank yous. Many thanks to my colleagues, come friends, Councillors Lloyd North, Sam Makover, Irene Arietti, Councillor Lowry, for their very kind and generous words. I am truly, truly overwhelmed, and Councillor Gerard Hargreaves, I am truly overwhelmed, so thank you all very much indeed. But one thing, I cannot overemphasize that without everybody's help in this chamber, I would not have been able to achieve a successful mayoralty. And even more so, with the stalwart support of my Deputy Mayor, Councillor Dory Schmetterling, and my darling husband and consort, escort, whatever you want to call it, Mr. David Hudd. Councillor North, you very kindly and generously referenced your thanks to my family, my parents. Thank you for that. And of course, they too were very instrumental in whatever I achieve in life. Additionally, my heartfelt thanks again to Councillor North and Councillor Catherine Folkes for looking after the residents of Camden Ward, our ward, in my absence. And I think you chaps have done sterling jobs. I don't think I'm really needed. Thanks to all in the Mayor's office and the drivers and mace bearers for their hard work and patience. My thanks also goes to the members of the Chamber and other colleagues who have been truly supportive whilst I chaired meetings, especially during a couple of tricky ones. And I would also like to take this opportunity to thank the members of the security guards during that tricky meeting. Councillor Lowry, Councillor Ali, and all the other members of the Labour Party, your kindness and generosity, throughout my tenure has been truly touching, for which I am very, very grateful. Finally, my thanks go to Maxine Holdsworth, the Chief Executive of RBKC, Laverne Parker, the Byborough Chief Solicitor, and Dr. Douglas Campbell, the Governance Manager, for the invaluable advice and guidance, without whom, I have to say, every meeting, without whose help I would have not coped. So thank you all very much indeed. And finally, Mother Emma, who's had to leave early, without her blessing, which always gave me confidence to walk into the chamber. So thanks to all of them. What an honour it has been to have been elected as a temporary custodian of the prestigious mayoralty of RBKC. It has been truly a memorable and rewarding year. We have enjoyed all our events equally, and many highlights included Founders' Day at the Royal Hospital, Chelsea, the Trooping of the Colour, the King's Garden Party, etc.
30 seconds.
All these events made one feel incredibly proud of being British, as they all celebrate our traditions and our charitable and community service. I know I'm running out of time, so I'll be very quick. This nicely segues into all the community events I have attended, which illustrate how contributing to society is an integral part of the British DNA. Meeting people who volunteer daily to help their communities without seeking any recognition was incredibly moving. From engaging young adults to participate in extracurricular activities, to encouraging women's entrepreneurialism to support the local community. Councillor Noor, my afternoon spent with you and your community in the summer with the MP Felicity Buchan was one of the most memorable events I've enjoyed. So thank you so much. And just finally, very quickly, over Easter, David and I were received by the Mayor of Motomia City and the Governor of Fukushima Prefecture, and I had the honour of signing the Friendship Declaration between the Royal Borough of Kensington Chelsea and Motomia City. This friendship will last for generations to come and illustrates the high regard in which the Royal Borough is held internationally. My final thanks go to my chosen charity, to everybody who's been supportive to my chosen charity, the Felix Project. We are still awaiting figures from the most recent event, but we expect to disclose my, I think we've reached my target of £50,000. Thank you. And finally, thank you all for allowing me to serve the RBKC community. I look forward to carrying on my duties as a councillor. And it's already been said, but I shall repeat it, as the motto of RBKC so aptly puts it, quam bonum in unum habitare. What a good thing it is to dwell together in unity, and one can't say that enough. Thank you all, and I look forward to getting back onto the back benches. Thank you all very much indeed.
Thank you, Councillor Hudd. I now invite Councillor Schmetterling to respond and speak for up to 5 minutes.
Good evening all. Councillor Hudd has already listed everybody, so thank you very much for making it easy for me. Mr. Mayor, thank you very much. This year has whizzed by very quickly, as I'm sure everyone who's been in this job knows. The beauty of this role, even as deputy, and of course the mayor does a lot more, many more events, and we've done hundreds, but even as a deputy you get around to quite a lot. And it's a chance to see all the good things that go on in the borough, not just the difficult things that you get as a ward councillor. Of course, as a ward councillor you see nice things too. But this is a chance to get all over the borough and attend community events like charity events, fundraisers, but you also go to other things. Outside, you get invited to some posh events outside, which is a pleasure because one normally doesn't get a chance to do that. I wish my successor, Councillor Laura Burns, but also of course her boss, the mayor, the new mayor, much success and a wonderful year. You will see what I mean when you get around all the borough, and that'll include the deputy mayor. There are always a lot of people to thank. Well, the big job has been done by Councillor Hudd, and this is the advantage of coming after somebody like that. They've done most of the talking for me. Of course, the staff of the Mayor's office, Tony Causa, Caroline Keane, Gus Akar, of course, Ahmed Harti and Philip Chebatovsky, as the last two being the chauffeurs and mace bearers. I must thank Councillor Joanna Gardner, my fellow councillor in Pembridge Ward, who's taken on a lot more work, I think, than she would have had otherwise. So thank you very much, Joanna. I thank my family for supporting me. My wife, Fariba, is thankfully here. I think my son is probably struggling to finish his postgrad certificate. And finally, I have to thank the now ex-mayor of Kensington, Councillor Preeti Hudd, for asking me to be her deputy. It's been great working with her. I don't think I could have had a better mayor to work with. And of course, she's done some great initiatives. Many things we do happen every year. They still require a lot of work to organize, but you know roughly when they happen and where they happen. But she's also taken on some initiatives, Councillor Aretti, and I have to thank him too, of course, for his kind words, and also the other teams, Councillor Lurry and so on, and Councillor North. An initiative like the fashion show that we had the other Saturday, it was international. We had embassies participating and high commissions. And it was all put together in about two months. Councillor had the idea, I think last summer. It was your idea, wasn't it? Her idea last summer, and then nothing happened for a while. And then all these people got together, some amazing people. I don't know how they did it, but they did it. It's not just amazing that they got it together, they're also quite well known in their fields, whether it's running fashion shows, being hairdressers or whatever. It was fantastic. So congratulations and well done for things like that. Of course, there's also the mayoral charity. They did great work. They actually supported the fashion show in great measure, providing loads and loads of volunteers on the night and before. So the year is over. The new year starts. Thank you to all.
I shall just pause for a moment now in case any guests want to leave before we start the remaining business, or you're welcome to stay to watch the rest of the annual council. I don't think will be too long. Item number 5. Item 5. The minutes of the previous meeting have been circulated. May I sign them as a correct record? Item 6. Does any member wish to declare a disclosable pecuniary or any other significant interest in any item being considered at tonight's meeting? I can inform the Council that Councillor Emma Dent-Coad has become a Fellow of the Royal Society of Arts. Congratulations, Councillor Dent-Coad.
I have received apologies this evening from Councillors Adurian, Ahmed, Bennett, Wheel, Yankson and Verboven. And I've also received apologies for lateness from Councillor Lindsay. Very sorry, and Councillor Idris sent her apologies as well.
Item 9. Statement by the Leader of the Council and response by the Leader of the Opposition Group. I now invite the Leader of the Council to address the meeting for up to 5 minutes.
Thank you. Well, good evening and welcome, Mr. Mayor. I hope tonight marks the start of a fantastic year for you and for your deputy. As you take office, I think we all wish you well in raising money for your nominated charities and in representing this borough on the national and indeed sometimes the international stage, as well as meeting our residents and businesses. You provide a vital connection between the council and the people who live and work in our borough. As you said, you have a hard act to follow in Councillor Hudd, who took the mayoralty around the borough and indeed across the world, celebrating the strong links we have with communities. A huge thank you to Priti and Dory for all their hard work throughout the year. Mr. Mayor, I also want to say a big welcome and congratulations to the newest councillor in the chamber tonight. In these times of political upheaval, turmoil, a bit of uncertainty. It just goes to show there is absolutely no substitute for good old-fashioned hard work, strong values, and speaking to residents on the doorstep and listening to them. Councillor Stephanie Petit, Conservative, Conservative member for Norland Ward. Doesn't that just sound great? Stephanie will know more than most of us. The message on the doorstep is clear. This council is doing a great job and getting the basics right. And we must continue to double down on what we're doing and how we're doing it. So a huge congratulations to Councillor Petit and the team for running a great campaign and increasing the share of the vote in the ward. Maybe the work we've done here can be replicated across the country on July the 4th, following the big news today. Mr. Mayor, we are becoming the best, honouring commitments made in recent years and in our council plan. Only yesterday, I attended the opening of the award-winning Kelso Cochrane House with members here on the front bench. It is difficult to describe the sense of achievement in seeing new housing being completed in the borough, the nod to the unique history of this borough, but also seeing the pride of Kelso's family as they helped us open the new block in North Kensington and put his name to the building, a real lasting legacy. We promised to build new homes, quality homes, safe homes, in the wake of the Grenfell Tower tragedy 7 years ago. So every step we make on this front is an important one. And Mr. Mayor, my final remarks tonight centre around the infected blood inquiry, which delivered a withering verdict on the public sector services and culture. The events that happened over many years were not only a scandal, they were unavoidable. And it was impossible to watch the verdict on Monday and not think about Grenfell and the coming inquiry report that will involve us, alongside many other private and public sector participants. I was drawn to the point that the civil service and governments over many years ignored people, covered up details, and failed to act. It isn't good enough. And it serves as a reminder to this organisation about what is important. It isn't about what you say, it's about what you do. And I'm thankful to the Mayor for his own words on this topic earlier this evening. And my promise continues to be that we will always ask ourselves the tough exam questions. Do we care about people, and have we changed the culture here in this organisation? Are we meeting the standards and service levels people expect from us? Are we listening to people and working hard on their behalf, tackling the issues that matter the most to them? Mr. Mayor, we soon move into June and the Grenfell anniversary, and I just want to say once again, our thoughts will be with all the families and our communities during this time. We hope to see certainty on the future of the tower and a fitting memorial which has the support of the community. We hope the inquiry report comes swiftly, and we hope it provides the answers that many wish to see. But we also know the road to justice will go on, and what we do in this organisation in the future will continue to be of utmost importance to the legacy of the 14th of June 2017. Thank you.
I now invite Councillor Ali to respond for up to 5 minutes. Councillor Ali.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Many congratulations for the position you've been elected tonight as the Mayor of our borough, our beloved borough, Kensington and Chelsea. I can tell you that, Mr. Mayor, that myself and the Labour group that I proudly lead will be working with you as the Mayor of our borough. Can I also thank you, Mr. Mayor, for getting in touch with me, or your office reaching out to me to set up an appointment as early as next week to speak to you about the local issues, as well as the Mayor of all our residents. Equally, may I congratulate your Deputy Mayor. We're also looking forward to working with you as a Deputy Mayor of our borough. Mr. Mayor, this gives me an opportunity to thank our former Mayor, Councillor Priti Hatt. It's been an amazing year last year, as well as difficult year. So thank you for all the stuff you've done for us and all the good work as a councillor and as a mayor. You have an excellent mayoral year term, 2023-2024, as the mayor of our beloved borough. There are so many things I can mention about the good work you've done last year. One of them was to invite me to the Japan House. I was expecting to travel with you to Japan, but you invited me. You invited me just around the corner, which I appreciate. That was as far as close as I get to Japan. So thank you for that invitation, and I look forward to the mayor hopefully attending some events with you when the schedule allows me. But to mention that as well, last year was difficult, as a councillor, Sina Larry mentioned, the chief whip of our group. One of the really amazing stuff that I remember about your melty and your kindness to all residents is when the council meeting was adjourned. As the residents of our borough were demonstrating, rightly, was what's happening in the Middle East. And some people in our residents, some of our residents have been impacted due to the war in Gaza between Palestine and Hamas, and the continual loss of innocent lives, and also the hostage that is still being held. So I would pray for, at this time, that the peace will come back to that part of the world and that region, so that we can have a peace here at home as well. So thank you very much for taking care of that issue, and obviously communicating with all, including the opposition, as well as all councillors. So once again, Councillor Priti Hatt, former mayor, thank you very much for the amazing work you've done. Moving on to the deputy councillor. We've worked together before as when I was the chair of Housing and Communities, Councillor Doris Schmetling. But your role as a deputy mayor has done an amazing work. And one of the areas that I well remember is when you welcomed the British Somali communities across the UK to Kensington and Chelsea, and to welcome them and celebrate the educational success of the community. And also thanking the company that sponsored, and asking them to keep coming back, Hormuz Telecommunication, to keep coming back and sponsoring good educational events in the borough, which they have accepted again. So thank you very much for the good work you have done as a deputy mayor. Moving forward, this is an election year, Mr. Mayor, has been mentioned, and I'd like to welcome the councillor, the new councillor, Stephanie, to the council, and congratulate her for her win. Having said that, this gives me an opportunity to thank the heroic campaign run by our former councillor, or Labour councillor, Monica Press, an amazing campaign and really, really good work. So I'm looking forward to working with her, hopefully in the near future when she comes back as a councillor. But to mention the figures, former councillor Monica Press has actually increased by 9% the number of Labour voters in Nolan Ward. It's something we'll definitely build on. So thank you very much, Monica, for the good work you have done, and I look forward to working with you in the future. Mr. Mayor, I remember the leader of the council spoke about the election, and let me just share with you what happened in the last election, which I look forward to the next one in the 4th of May. The Labour Assembly, the first time ever a Labour mayoral candidate has won the Central West and Kensington and Chelsea, as well as Westminster and Hammersmith and Fulham. But also at the same time, the first time ever, we have Councillor Jamie Small-Edward as the Central West, as West Central, GLA member, and it's an amazing, that victory, and may well that continue after the 4th of July. Mr. Mayor, it's been an amazing work that as Labour councillors, I've been elected second term as the leader of the opposition. I was not expecting, as the first ever British Somali, to become a leader of a major political party like Labour Party, which happens to be the largest party in the country. But it happened, and I'd like to thank them, all the fellow councillors and Labour councillors, for electing me. We will continue to work together. We will continue to work for our residents, and as long as I remain as a leader, or hopefully not just as a leader of the opposition, but one day the leader of the council, because we are both leader of Hammersmith and Fulham and Westminster, and after the 4th of July, we will definitely have this colour, red roses, as we are in the summer, and Chelsea, to continue. Thank you very much. It's been a wonderful year, and I look forward to the opposition, to the council leadership, as well as all the councillors, and to make sure that we represent to the best of our ability. We will not allow our communities to be divided by haters. We will work together as a Christian, Muslim, Jewish, every resident in our borough, that we're all proud of it. Mr. Mayor, many congratulations again. Thank you.
Item number 10, ratios and appointments to committees. The appointments sheet has been circulated in the supplementary agenda pack. May I have a proposer and a seconder for the report's reception?
I'd like to propose, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Campbell.
And I'm very happy to second, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Taylor-Smith. I call now upon Councillors Addenbrooke, Lari, Wade and Dent Code to move the nominations standing in their names.
I beg to move the nominations standing in my name.
I move the nominations in my name.
The nominations in my name, yes.
I move the nomination standing in my name.
Does the Council agree to note the political balance and agree the ratios and appointments as set out in paragraphs 3.1 to 3.3 on page 18 of the main agenda pack and Appendix B on pages 3 to 10 of the supplementary papers pack? The recommendations are agreed. Item number 11, appointments to outside bodies. The appointments sheet has been circulated, and I call upon Councillors Addenbrooke and Lari to move the nominations standing in their names.
I beg to move the nominations standing in my name.
I move the nominations standing in my name.
Are the nominations as set out on pages 11 to 13 of the supplementary agenda pack agreed, and the leader of the Council's nominees to London Council noted? The nominations are agreed, or noted as appropriate. Item 12. There is no other business to bring to members' attention. So that concludes the business of this annual council. To speed things up, may I invite everyone to remain seated as we will now proceed with the meeting of all council side committees to elect chairs and vice chairs. All the relevant papers have been circulated. So may I ask members of those committees, are the memberships on pages 3 to 10 of the supplementary pack noted? I declare them noted. Members are now asked to appoint the chairs and vice chairs of the committees. Are the appointments listed on page 19 of the supplementary pack agreed? I declare them carried. That concludes the business of this meeting. The next meeting of full council is currently scheduled for Wednesday, 26th of June, 2024. Good night.